Yeah, we are here for update video. This is for 14.4, 5, and 6. I missed 14.4 when it came out due to me and Junior moving. So we're going to take a look at it. I will warn you that Greg has marked 16.4 and 5 as broken, not to be used. I am in 14.6, which is the recent one that he put out. As far as I know, the broken part was the water stuff, which I haven't gotten a chance to go around and look at that in my other world yet, where I did have some broken water, but we will get to that in a little bit. Let's go over the stuff for 16.4. So note, released a tiny bit early due to testing GitHub action. Note the URL leading to the supporter list link to something that runs on a different subdomain so that it is easier to distinguish the traffic. This is just basic stuff. He says that the old link is still usable, so that counts for anybody that needs that URL or uses that URL. It's still there, but he's running it somewhere else. There was an improvement to ore generation. Which hopefully will help with finding things like diamond veins if you have other mods that add in basalt. Trying to think of some of the other ones that have a interaction between two stones. But anyways, ores that generate between two stone layers are now no longer stopped by other mods equal blocks, like comparing GT marble with chisel marble. Both should obviously count as marble. They should also count as marble in a daggone item barrel, so we don't have to have 6 different blocks, but that's never going to happen. We should also have the option to turn them off, but so far I haven't convinced Greg of that option either, because it really stinks having different mods blocks when you really don't want them. For people that enjoy having different limestones in the world, that's fine, but for people like me that just want my GT limestone right there, I don't want to see that ugly, nasty chisel limestone as a rock layer, or having to deal with quarried stone versus marble, or chisel's marble versus GT's marble. I don't need 3 different kinds of marble. They all pretty much look the same anyways. They're a white block. But anyways, enough of my soapbox about that. I haven't been able to do any actual testing of that. It's really difficult to test that kind of stuff. That's more of something that Greg will do, or I'm sure has done on his back end. I'm going to skip the next one for a minute. He fixed some minor inconsistencies. I'm not sure what that is because it doesn't say here. Fixed insanely large capacity pipes, had integer overflow issues. I remember that one and had tested that one. There was an issue with, I think it was huge adamantium pipes, or I think this was brought up by GT6U. I think they had added a pipe that was really causing the issue. Then the next one is something that is just going to be, as far as testing wise, I'm going to have to check over time, which is the 1 liter fluid issue we kept having. mainly with the pipe that is right up there that is running but isn't kept full all the time. We kept having just 1 liter of fluid in it. That is supposed to be fixed now. Like I said, that's something that's going to take time to get checked, so I will keep an eye on that, along with the next one, which is Quadruple and Nanook pipes had flow direction issues. So if you had a Quadruple or a Nanook pipe and you had 3 fluids that were flowing in one direction and 1 fluid trying to go an opposite direction, they were fighting because they were all working on the one pipe rather than each individual sub pipe. So there should be none of that now because he changed it to the sub pipe, which hopefully will fix the issue I was having here with my Nanook and Quadruple pipes that were running oxygen, hydrogen, that kind of stuff. Again, this is something that's going to take time. And if you guys don't know, I don't actually play in this world any longer. I'm actually on a new series, the Surviving GT6 Take 2. So when I get to that point, I'll be keeping an eye out for that there. But I wasn't around. I am sure Greg tested that out on his own. Let's go look back at the changelog. I don't have 2 monitors right now, so I'm having to switch back and forth. So y'all get to stare at whatever the heck I'm looking at while I tab over there real quick. There were miniature portals added for Extra Simple, which is a fork of Extra Utilities, which I do not have in here, so I can't show you the portal or the recipe because it isn't loaded if the mod isn't there. The next thing I was here for testing, and if you look back, you'll see that we've done a few testings on it. There was a durability loss when tree capitating using the GT6 axe, which was using way the wrong calculations. So using the tree capitation is not the best for durability loss any longer. It was never supposed to be. Your best, as they say, for saving durability on your axe is to debark the log and then take each log out individually. Or the second best would be to hit the tree 1 log at a time. And then the final is using the tree capitation. There's not a whole lot of difference, but it is definitely better to do it 1 log at a time for durability. But there is a major difference between stripping it ahead of time. But if you have like a debarker machine, you may not want to deal with that. And again, this is just a durability thing. So you do whatever is best for you. This is just information on how long your axe is going to last. All right, so wrenches from Buildcraft and similar mods can now be crafted again, but if you use them on anything GT related, they will instantly break without refunds. So if we look in here at the wrench, we should be able to make a Buildcraft wrench again, which it needs a stone gear in the middle. Let me see if I can pop one of these together real quick. Be able to throw this in here. I do believe I can make me a stone. Those are pipes. That's wire. Oh yeah, gears are down here. See if I can make a stone gear. Alright. So there's our stone gear. Give me 1 sec here. Run my butt over here and grab some iron. I think my headset turned off. There we go. Alright. Hate when that happens. Alright, so dun, dun, and dun. That gives us our wrench. And now let's see if I use this on this drum. Oh, wait a minute. The drum thing might be because it's it can be a hand thing. Let's try it. It won't even let me use it on that. Okay, what about if I try to turn this? Okay, it will let me use it to turn things, but I can't pick things up with it. Now that might just be my punch me not, but I don't think so because it doesn't even show that it's trying to. Yeah, it's not even trying to break it. Shifting, clicking isn't popping it off, which is the normal Buildcraft wrench thing. So I'm not sure about it getting deleted because I don't see that, but it definitely won't work for a GT wrench. Let's see if it'll. Aha! So it'll get deleted if you try to use it on a pipe to open a pipe. That does delete it. All right. Well, let's close this pipe. There's another entry. Let me look here. There's another entry in 14.5 talking about the other wrenches that you can shift click with the electric wrench onto a Buildcraft tile entity, and it won't change the modes because you know if you shift and right click, it changes from monkey wrench to wrench. That has been fixed. So if you need to shift right click on a Buildcraft machine, you most definitely can without it switching. I went and tested it on a pump, and it most definitely didn't change it. I don't have anything here to test it on. I think an engine is. We can throw together an engine real quick. Just throw 8 more of this cobble in there, make 2 gears, and we'll make a piston. I should have some wood sitting around here somewhere. I've got redstone and iron over here, so we'll grab iron. Speaking of pistons, that's one thing that I didn't see in the changelog that I do believe has gotten changed. Yeah, right there, bronze. Bronze was missing from the metals that can be used to make a piston for most of GT6 now. And that has been fixed, so you can now make pistons of bronze again. Stone, iron, and let's see if we have some wood up here. That one, or there we go. Together, so I can double check this on engines. So that, grab our 2 gears, them in there, and a piece of glass makes us a Buildcraft Sterling engine, first one I've made, and then shift click, and you can see that I'm not changing from monkey wrench to wrench when I do so. So that has been fixed. All right, and there was a complaint about explosion sounds being spammed when a machine is in the rain and you have the explosions turned off. And Greg says that instead it will wait a bit before it sends the sound again rather than spamming it. You will still continue to get the sound, letting you know that what you're doing is not intended, but it won't be spamming you anymore. This is the stuff in the 6.14.5. Most of this stuff I tested since I've been back already. You know how you can open pipes to air blocks? Well, he added the functionality for liquids and gases because I was running into a problem where I was trying to open a pipe to water and it wouldn't let me. So let's grab a pipe, and I actually read this entry, but I never actually checked it. So let's come down here. Well, actually, I've got a pipe right here. So we should be able to open, and we can. It's also gas block, so if you're needing to open a pipe up in a gas, you can do that as well. Not just water either. It's any fluid block, not air as it was before. Let's see. He changed all fluorite byproducts to use a more colorful version of fluorite. Thanks, Greg. More spam of colorful crap. Thanks. Appreciate it. So I'm guessing that means that, let's see, isn't it cassiterite? Give you a little bit if you sift it. Am I remembering that correctly? No, that gives you zircon, not fluorite. Wrong mod. There is a mod that does that if I remember correctly, but it ain't that one. So, is it F? No. Alright, so there's the fluorite gems, fluorite ore. I'm going to look at the sluice. So I'm guessing that these are going to be a change of color maybe, because since those are byproducts off of the fluorite ore. Could be when you wash it by hand as well. Speaking of washing by hand, I can't say for sure, but at least a little bit of testing that I've done, I wasn't really testing even, the little bit of hand washing that I've done, it looks like Greg has removed the tiny dust and the nuggets to where we are only getting tiny purified ores now. I didn't see that in the change log, but it seems to be something that has changed. I don't know if that is intended, but I remember when we used to wash a yeah, I have everything processed up here, so I can't even go and show you guys right now. But if Greg watches and sees this and needs to see it, I can go and do it in my other. I can test that later. Let's see. Also, change byproducts of naquita, trinium, duranium, tritanium, and dilithium containing ores. So any ore that had those in them, or the byproducts of them have been changed. I am pretty sure that is to actually give us a way of getting trinium without replication. I did look at this a while back, but I think I read it wrong when I did. But here's crushed lithium ore, which you put it in the sluice, and it's only giving you dilithium ore. Put it into the centrifuge, you get dilithium, dilithium, and dilithium. Let's see, one that gives that as a byproduct. That's the lithium. That's the lithium. Yeah, I'm not sure what's. I'm guessing it's a fluid. I don't. There we go. There's one. All right. So dolomite ore will give you dilithium ore along with deuterium trioxide, hexabromide, hexafluoride, trioxide. So y'all have to let me know if that has changed from previous. I don't know what dolomite ore is. It looks like it's a GregTech ore, but I don't remember ever seeing it. It says it's added by Greg, so it must be, but I don't remember ever seeing it. But let's look at not tritium, trinium. Letters different. Let's see, tiny purified. Go to the sluice. So deuterium trioxide ore will give you a little bit of purified trinium ore now. I do believe there's a vein that has that in it. It's quite rare and doesn't get used very much. Elemental gives you a bit. Endium, which is for hardcore ender expansion, will give you some tungsten stuff and some tritium, tantalum. There's like 36 of them now that give trinium. That's trinium ore, which, as far as I know, doesn't exist. Trinium dioxide, elemental tritium, deuterium trioxide. So I think this is going to make it rare to actually get, but it's going to take it out of being loot only as it has been. Usually you would have a very slight chance of getting, I think I always got them as arrows in GT forts, which made getting the middle tier of the large turbine impossible without a whole lot of replication and luck. So hopefully that fixes that. We will figure out if I can ever find one of those veins. Let's see what we have next here. Oh, he fixed a few recipes for wood stuff like rings and item casings. This has to do with the next entry we're going to be looking at, I do believe. So you can now make, if I can actually find the daggone thing, wooden gear. I want a wooden ring. Where are, okay, there's all the rings. Now I need to find the ebony ring, pine ring. So there you go, wood plank and a knife, and that'll give you 4 wooden rings. And then for the next entry, you can actually use those wooden rings to make your new clay mold that actually uses it. There's also a wooden item casing that you can now make. This just locked up my game for a second. There we go. So using a saw and a plank will give you 2 item casings, and then you can use that to make your item case mold. So that leads into our next entry, whether it's supposed to be or not. Greg has changed the way you make clay molds. You now make them like this with a rolling pin and a knife, and you can now press out each one of these molds. Most of them, but not all of them, have a wood or stone variant that you can use. Some of them have, like for the ingot, have brick or plastic that can also be used, which you can also use. And it's this has nether brick too. Anything that is iron or steel, bronze, tin, zinc, lead, brass, bismuth, bronze, and gold. Those are the metals you can use for any of these. So I'm not going through that whole list for every one, but you can use a plastic chunk, you can use a petrified piece of wood, you can use a rock to make your chunk mold. You can use a plank or a pane of glass or a piece of glass to make your plate mold, along with, all the other plates that we've already discussed. Tiny wood plank can be made, so you can make your tiny wood one. Bolt mold, you can use short sticks or bolts. Stick mold uses plastic stick, stone stick, wood stick, and then the metal sticks. Long one uses 2 of them. Item casing ring we already talked about. Wood, stone, or metal gear for the gear mold. You also have the small gear mold. Same thing. You can actually use a regular Minecraft wooden sword. This is my own personal texture that gives it the new texture and the change of name, but that is just a wooden sword. You can use any GT sword that's already been crafted, or raw or regular sword blades. That is the same for all of the tools, and I have double checked, and all of the wood variants of all the tools are crafted, which actually makes for a strange thing I don't know if Greg realizes, which is the spade can be used as a saw, even though you'll look at the which one is it? There it is. The saw mold. There is no wood or stone saw, obviously, but there is a wood saw by using a universal spade that is made out of wood or stone, since he allows that tool to be used as a saw. I haven't actually tested to see if it actually works that way, but it seems like that's something that would be a minor exploit there. But same with, pickaxes, shovels, the spades, the universal spades. You can make a wood version. There's the wood version of the spade. There's the universal spade. You have your iron version, your copper version. Hey, maybe he actually heard me when I told him that, and he took it out, because I'm actually not seeing a wood or stone version anymore. Because there was one for a little while. In one of the snapshots, there was actually a wood version of the universal spade. He hadn't actually said anything when I said it, so I didn't realize he got rid of it. All right, so never mind, no exploiting that. All right, so axe, you can use wood axe, regular axe heads. Double axe, you just use two of them. And your saw mold is metal. Hammer, you can actually use a soft hammer or a regular hammer, or the heads that are needed to make them. Your file, screwdriver, chisel, arrow, you can use a piece of flint or an actual arrow, or arrowheads. Hoe, sigh, plow, and the new tool, which we have tested but we haven't talked about here yet, which is the builder's wand. And this is the builder's wand here. It is just a basic builder's wand where you throw that down there and then right click and it builds it for you. Nothing too fancy, just a run-of-the-mill builder's wand for anybody that doesn't want to have. I'm trying to find my, I actually have my figures. I had emptied my inventory for testing the other day. Oh, this is another thing he added. It actually makes a pickup sound now when it automatically puts stuff in your inventory, so you know that it's actually picking it up. God, that is going to get annoying real fast. Thanks for that, Greg. I actually hadn't heard that yet because I hadn't used my drill since he changed that, and it's not in the change log, so I didn't see it. All right, so Builder's Wand pretty much is doing what the ones of other mods do too. It places blocks. It can also destroy Thumbcraft nodes like the crowbar does. Why? Because it's a neat Easter egg, and if a node happens to be in the way while building, you can just go smack it with the wand. And then we talked about the clay molds for everything that is mentioned. The one thing I didn't mention yet was that with the molds, these are the actual chiselings that you would have to do. So since before you had to have the book that you didn't spawn with, you had to go either loot it or kill villager zombies to hopefully get that book to find out what the pattern was. This will give you an idea of what the pattern is, so you can chisel it. And somebody else had already asked me this, so I'll make sure I mention this. This has no change to any of the other molds. You will still need to chisel all of your metal or stone versions. This is only changed for clay molds. Just to make it easier when you start out, since you won't have the book right off the bat, it'll give you a way of making them without already knowing them. And you can still chisel them if you choose to. If you want to make the mold, if you know what the... trying to remember where I threw the molds I had made the other day so I could show you. There's some on the ground over here, but I'm not sure if I chiseled them already. Yeah, see this one right here is a clean mold, hasn't been chiseled yet. It says you have to chisel it. You can still place them and chisel them in world just as you did before. So not a problem there. It's just something for mainly newer players that don't know what it is, or if you don't want to sit around and do it and you want to waste a plank to make a plate mold, because God knows I will do it, because doing the plate mold is such a pain in the butt getting every one of them out of there. I will waste a piece of glass or a plank for it for sure. Since I didn't mention that, the clay molds, whatever you're using to make the mold, will get consumed. So if you use a wooden ring to make your clay mold, you're not going to keep that wooden ring. It's going to get used up in making the mold, because you got to break it to get it back out without messing up the mold. That's your reasoning there, I guess. Let's see. So that is all of 14.5 updates. I don't think there's anything I missed. And then 14.6, which is the newest one that just got released, is a note. Hindsight is 2020, and I did fuck up my fix for the water generation bug last year. So here we go with the first release of 2021, which actually happened right after midnight for Greg, right before he went to bed in the new year. So 5 and 6 came out pretty close together. So fixed rivers, oceans, swamps generated partially at XZ00 to XZ1515 because he forgot an offset. Also caused the first layers of those waters to be at the wrong height. And I've seen some water things that I don't think is at those coordinates, that I want to take a look at, because I'm hoping that it fixes it. I've seen a few places where the water looked like it had like regular water on the top and then Greg's river water underneath, or vice versa. But that may not be in this fix, but there is that one. And then the very last thing that I skipped over earlier is an improvement to basic machine input tanks. Now have capacities based off the actual recipe inputs. That way, a single huge recipe won't mess up automation of many smaller ones. So, the main thing that is directed at, let me stuff my face real quick with some pineapple slices here, is the mixer, which has a huge tank in it. And so, if you guys remember, it has 127 is what it used to hold. So right there, 187,500, that is the normal tank. I actually have broken this one off for the air, completely emptied this tank, and now we're only getting 32 instead of the 127. And we're actually going to throw the sulfur in here, and you can see that this is not going up to 24 anymore. It's staying at 16. And then if we dump this in here, it cannot do the rest because I moved the thing. It should stop probably at 32. Oh, 24. So it stops at 24 rather than at 127 as it did before. So now you don't have to worry about having your machines that need the same thing, kind of like the fluoride over here. This is going to be really good for all the ones that need sulfuric acid and all the ones that need hydrogen fluoride. They're not going to sit there and hold 127,000 liters, whatever, of that material when another machine right next to it is just starved for it. So that is a nice fix. It doesn't change the output tanks. The output tanks are still pretty large on the mixer, but that's not going to mess with automation. That's just free storage. Yay. And then one thing that somehow I missed in the changelog is, we've actually seen it a few times, is the new warning sign there. So this is the warning cover for anybody that doesn't know already. It's just a basic cover that you can stick onto machines. This looks like a bug. I seen this a few minutes ago. I need to actually test that here when we get done. But you stick this warning sign on. It does absolutely nothing, but you can change it to different ones, including if you happen to have random bear attacks. There's actually a warning. Or I guess for us, we need to put it on the front of the factory to let you know there's a active bear in the factory. Things might, explode. But now he's added the crash test dummy symbol. So, and I guess we could use the radiation one there outside since we have our beacon of uranium out there. But yeah, it looks like I can create another warning cover after, because I have the glass bottle there. I did test it. If I take the glass bottle out and put it back in, it will not show the recipe back up. Okay, and if I click it, it goes away. That is a desync issue that I think Greg may have fixed. I do know, as a matter of fact, because I've tested it, that he has fixed the issue when you're pulling from a barrel next to an inventory. Let me see if we have an item barrel. Here we go. This one here will work. The main one that he worked on was for fluids. The desync issue was fixed for fluids. We're going to throw that in there. I'm going to pull 3 of them out of there. And we're going to pop these 3 in here. And then I can make them by pulling out, and it actually shows that they're in there. For the water one, it actually shows the water filling the bucket without you having to leave the table and go back in. And there is the current snapshot that is out at the time of me recording this is for a fix of making the items work better. I do believe Greg said it was involving if you had, say, this whole stack sitting here. I think it's not going to refill that stack. I'm not sure, because see, it's still keeping that at that full stack. He said there was something with that. I'm not using that snapshot, so I'm not sure what that is. We'll be checking that out in a separate video when I check it in the snapshot back in the other world. So that has been the update video. I don't think I've missed anything. We should be back to normal update videos. Testing videos are going to be a little different now. I'm going to be doing one-off testing videos from time to time when Greg has something completed that he needs tested, rather than the streams that we used to do until Junior and I get into an actual place where we have consistent internet. It's a little bit less convenient for Greg and I to communicate what we're seeing and what needs to still be fixed or whatever, or if something is intended or not. But it'll be better for you guys because you'll not have to sit through a 4-hour stream or an hour and a half, 2-hour stream of me testing all kinds of things to see, one specific change that you're actually interested in. But I have gabbed on long enough here. We're up to like a 47-minute video. So, hope you enjoyed. Make sure you go and update to 1406. Make sure you hit the buttons, do the things. And as always, if you need a link to Greg's website or the download, you can go to his website. Link is in the description, or our Discord. We have a mod release section that will announce whenever it is released. Changelog may or may not be there when it comes out. There's a little issue with the CI that posts it, but it is supposedly getting fixed, and I will throw the changelog in there whenever. But you can, as always, see the changelog on Greg's website. So have a good one. Take it easy, and I will see you next time.